Oh, what an adventure! Get lost with Google Maps. Good morning everybody, how yous all going today? It's a lovely Friday today. On Monday we've got the car booked in. We're having some work done on the back end, and these are the shock absorbers we're fitting, as well as some other work. We're having it done at Dabco in Bunbury again. These were the best shock absorbers we could get for the car. We went through a lot of trouble finding out what would be the best for the back suspension of the car. I was looking at airbags, just something to help it on the rough roads, because when we've got the back of the ute loaded up and then we've got the trailer on the back, going through some of those really rough tracks, because the trailer weight gets brought forward, especially when you're going over big bumps and that, and it is very hard on the rear suspension, because it's only a two-wheel drive, it's not the beefed up four-wheel drive suspension. And we looked at all sorts of things, and I'll actually go out now and climb under the car and show you the changes we're going to make. But this is the shock absorber. You can see that these are a double acting shock absorber, so they, like most gas filled, only work one way. These shock absorbers work both ways. Like they're massive. They've got a 40mm bore. They're just a massive shock absorber, foam filled membrane, hydraulic top out buffer. They run very cool. And yeah, they're the best, basically the best shock absorber we can get. I think it's costing us $550 for the pair of those. All right. Okay, we'll head out to the car now, and I'll slide underneath and show you what changes we're going to be making under the car. Okay, so let's have a quick look under the car here. Now you can see just here is the torsion bar. And it's kind of in the way, but it's how Mahindra have done it. But basically what that means is the simple fix of just putting an airbag under there won't work. Now we have a look at the spring. Here's the spring. You can see this is a standard spring, not a military wrap. A military wrap has got not only the first spring, but the second spring comes up and wraps around the bush. So this is what's known as a standard wrap spring. Basically what we're going to be doing is adding another leaf between this one and this one. So it'll come out here and it'll just be another leaf. So that should, we're not going for ground clearance or anything, although it will give us an extra, what's that, a centimetre about. But what we're going, and I don't want the vehicle lifted because it really is high enough for what the wife and I do. But what we're trying to do is just on the really rough tracks and that, when all the weight shifts, because the dynamics with the trailer combined with the 400 to 500 kilo load on the back, that does cause the rubber to hit the stopper, and you can actually see that where the stopper is, it's polished. And that was, we discovered that problem on our last trip doing the Holland track. So we're just going to add another leaf into the spring pack. So they're going to break this spring pack open, and add another leaf. That's getting done on Monday, and of course that'll be getting done to both sides. I'll turn the light on so you can see. Hang on. There we go. Sorry for the camera, but yeah, I mean it would have been really easy if I could have just added a set of airbags under there, but due to the positioning of the torsion bar, we just couldn't do that. That couldn't be done. So a new spring in the spring pack it is. Total cost, well, to get both the springs done, that totals about $600, and then there's $500 for the heavy duty shocks. And that's it, because we did the front end, we put the new shocks in the front end of the car, and did the torsion bar suspension, tweaked that a little bit up for the rough tracks, but I didn't realise until we did that Holland track, which was really rough. It had a lot of whoop-de-woos, a lot of big steep embankments, and I mean the car did it no worries at all, but it was just a bit hard on the back of the suspension. Alright, so there's a quick video about updating the rear end of the Mahindra. That's not going to cost me a lot. You can buy beefed up off-road suspension for these at cost of about $2,700 plus fitting, and that's four-wheel drive suspension, and that gives it a 2-inch lift. And then you go and get your certificate for that, but that's a lot of cost, and it's not really needed, because let's face it, this is only a 2-wheel drive. I know I take it places a lot of people would never think of taking a 2-wheel drive, but yeah, you know, so a quick spring and a new leaf, another leaf in the pack, and that should fix my problem, and I shouldn't have that bottoming out anymore. And it was doing it at quite low speeds, but it was just purely the dynamics of the load on the vehicle and the load on the trailer shifting to the tow hitch going over the bumps. Yeah. Alright, so that's what we're up to. Keep safe, everybody. Bye.